Hey, good evening, and welcome to our Facebook Live. I am Ann Miller, and I'm President and Executive Director of the Home Educators Association of Virginia, and we have a special treat for you tonight. And this is for if you are or you have a friend who is either a retired homeschool mom and still wondering what to do, or if they are coming down the home stretch tonight, not tonight, but tonight would be part of coming down the home stretch. But if they're coming down the home stretch of their homeschooling season and they're wondering what to do, quick tag them, tell them to come on over to hear the speaker that we have for them tonight, because she's going to be talking about not only what to do and what to look forward to when you finish your homeschooling journey, but she's also going to talk about how to bring out the greatness in your children, how to help your children be who they are in the Lord. And also, she's talking to us moms that mom is not our only name. And I'm so excited that she's here. We've had so many people ask, like, what do I do when I finish homeschooling? And some of us know, but some of us don't. So if you let me know in the, let your friends know, and then let me know in the comments that you're here, and tell me what you're looking forward to the most at convention. We have an incredible convention this year, and let me know what part of it is you're looking forward to the most. And also, don't forget to tag your friends who have either finished homeschooling and they're wondering what to do, or they're a mom who is trying to think, like, what comes next. And just like and share. And for every like, share, comment that you do, that you put in the comment section, you'll be entered to win a free full convention registration for the whole family. And if you've already registered, then you get one for your friend. This year, we're just encouraging every family to bring a family and save. When you encourage another family to come, we have the ambassador program, Every Family Bring a Family and Save, where you can get $5. You'll save $5 and your friend will save $5. And you can use that by sharing your code and with another family or friends to come to the convention. And you can pay for your convention registration. How cool is that, to be able to just cover that by inviting friends who will certainly benefit as well from the convention and save $5. So do that, like and share, and also you'll be registered. And where are you from? Let's see. And you can put where you're from too, because that's always interesting. And what are you looking forward to the most at convention? Let's see. So, what's next? Katrina Jackson, our new convention director, she certainly has been sharing lots of facets of convention and why it's important to come. And I know I'm a longtime homeschooler. We decided to homeschool in 1980, and before it was even legal. And hey, Ashley, thanks for being here. What's your favorite part? What are you most looking forward to at the convention? Let me know in the chat. So we decided in 1980, my parents homeschooled my brothers in the late 70s and early 80s. And my husband was a public school teacher. So I've been doing this a long time. Now, we have 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls, and I've been finished for a long time. But I still look forward to convention every year to be able to encourage you all and to help equip you. And I look forward to seeing friends that are there, and my children are there, my grandchildren are there. And what do you look forward to? I do look forward to seeing my grandchildren and my children at convention. That's one thing I look forward to, and I look forward to seeing you. So share what you look forward to. The young entrepreneurs, yes, that is one amazing part of the convention. I think the young entrepreneur booths have sold out. I think the exhibit hall is actually sold out already. but the young entrepreneurs are homeschool young adults who have started businesses, and we give them an opportunity to get a real life experience on what it's like to be in exhibit hall. They have all the requirements that the exhibitors have, and they have to follow the rules and put in the registration forms, and it's an incredible experience. If you have a budding young entrepreneur, make sure they go to that section and see what they could do next year. Well, new this year, an instrument petting zoo. Yes, we do have an instrument petting zoo we had it before COVID, and they're back. This is the first time we've had the instrument petting zoo back since COVID, and they have all kinds of sanitizing things, just like they do at music stores. So no worries. Why come? Why, that's a big, why should we come? Why should you come to the convention? Why should you invite your friends to come to convention? And that's a really important question, because it is a commitment to come. But I know when I was homeschooling, I didn't even know any homeschoolers in Virginia in the whole country. I knew one family in Massachusetts until about 1985. And not going it alone is one of the main reasons to come to convention, to realize that there are so many people who are right where you are. And just that connection and being in a place that's filled with people who are doing what you're doing, it's amazing. It's an amazing experience. And in that community, we're facing a lot of the same challenges and hopes and struggles, and making those connections can make such a difference. And also, I like to call them divine appointments. You never know who you're going to meet at convention, and we pray that you'll hear the right thing for that child, the thing that you're crying out, like, help me with this one or these two or all of them. The information and the encouragement and the resources at convention can change your life. And we just hope that you will come. Sarah says, I enjoy the energy of all the young homeschool families. Yes, it's so exciting to see the new families. Stephanie Benninghoff, excuse me one second. She says, I love encouraging young and new homeschool families as well. And she's looking forward to popping into the Homeschool Hub. The Homeschool Hub is a new area this year, actually, that we've set up so that you can have a place just to sit, to get away from the crowd, and meet and connect with other homeschool families who are there. It's our new meeting place. There'll be crayons and quiet toys and things for the kids. And we hope that, based on feedback that we've gotten, we hope that you love this new space. Thank you, Stephanie. So many things. Yes. One of the things that I know I'm really looking forward to, we've been doing live podcasts for the last 2 years at convention, and we've done them last year we did it with Abraham Hamilton III, and this year we are thrilled. Focus on the Family is coming to convention with Dr. Daniel Huerta and Rebecca St. James. Yes, that Rebecca St. James, the musician. I guess not musician, but yes. And she and Daniel are going to be doing podcasts with Christy Faith, with Bethany Hamilton, the Soul Surfer, and other people at convention. They've actually brought some new speakers to us, and it should be wonderful. And they will be broadcasting live for Focus on the Family straight from convention, and you can go and watch and participate as the live audience. So that should be, yes, she is a wonderful musician. Thank you, Richard, and thanks for being here. Sarah says, even though my kids are grown and I'm not homeschooling them anymore, I like to go to the law workshops. It confirms everything I already know about the law, but I can also learn new information if anything has changed. Yes, one of the things we do offer at convention, on Thursday, not only do we have that whole special needs conference with a keynote, we also have How to Begins in English and Spanish that cover everything from how do you start, what about curriculum, and what about the law? What do you need to do to start? And that's all free. You don't have to pay a penny for that. You can come. And then when those 3 sessions are over, the exhibit hall premiere opens at 5 o'clock, and you can go in there for free as well, just to kind of come and taste and see. Also, parents of preschoolers whose oldest is not yet 5 can come to convention for free, the whole convention. So there are lots of reasons to come. And as a preschool parent, or if you know preschool parents in your neighborhood, in your church, anywhere that you connect with parents of preschoolers whose oldest is not yet 5 by convention, encourage them to come, because they're getting that educational mindset that for the older homeschoolers, you have to think through, what do you want to do? What's important to you for teaching your children? That parents of preschooler opportunity to come for free is tremendous. And last year we had, I think 340 parents of preschoolers come and take advantage of that. So come on and share with your friends. And we look forward to seeing you there. So this year, we're doing all the outreach things that we've been doing for the last few years. Last year, we launched the Black Outreach. So we have the Hispanic Outreach and a Black Outreach, and both of them have receptions. We have an outreach for single parents and a luncheon. We have a military recognition reception and a leader luncheon for co-op, hybrid, microschool leaders, and lots of things there to do. And we want to thank our sponsors. We could not do this convention with the 21 sponsors: American Heritage Girl, Answers in Genesis, Museum of the Bible, the Herzog Foundation. The Navy is here this year. Wait till you see them. And Learning RX. We could not be more excited. Okay, well, I've gone on and on. Let me get to our guest. And our guest tonight is a former actress, acclaimed actress and singer in the New York Broadway musical theater world, and mother of a Grammy award-winning contemporary Christian recording artist, Francesca Battistelli. Her mom, Kate Battistelli, is convinced that God has a wild, preposterous, secret, scary, or impossible dream just for you. And she calls it a God dare, because she's learned that with God, absolutely, absolutely anything is possible. Hey, Kate, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited for the convention. Just all those things you mentioned.
Oh, I am. And if I could just, I'm going to have you talk about yourself, but if I could just, one of the things, this is actually our first actual meeting here, but Kate, the Broadway production and national tour that she was on was The King and I, and she started as the understudy, and correct me if I'm wrong, and then moved into the leading role opposite Yul Brynner, and she danced in more than 1,000 productions with Yul Brynner in The King and I.
Crazy.
And then to top that off, she's the mom of Grammy Award-winning Francesca Battistelli. And Kate, you have so much to share. Can you just tell us how you went from dancing more than 1,000 shows with Yul Brynner to becoming the homeschool mom of a Grammy Award-winning artist? Tell us, and a homeschool mom. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey and what we can look forward to hearing from you about it at the convention?
Oh, sure. Well, like you said, I did The King and I, and after that, I met my husband on that show. And after I was done with my 1,000 performances, totally worn out, we got married the summer of 1983, but we didn't know the Lord. But we had a little side business in New York, and the gal that was mentoring us, she was an older woman. She was a born-again Jewish woman, so a Messianic Jew. And she kept inviting us to church, and she kept inviting us. She was relentless, which I always tell people, don't stop inviting because it can change their life. But she bugged us, and finally Mike and I were just like, okay, whatever, let's get this over with. So she said, okay, come Friday night. We've got this great gospel choir. You're going to love the music. So with the three of us get on the F train, if you know New York, the F train to Jamaica, Queens, and we come out
in Queens.
we come up out of the subway, and the church was actually in an old theater, and it was a couple blocks away from the subway station. So we come up out of the subway, and we start sensing the atmosphere is a little bit different. It was like almost like the building was just pulsating with the music. So I was raised Episcopalian, so I didn't know anything really just about the power of the Holy Spirit. And we walk into this theater, to this church, and there are crutches on the wall from people that have been healed, empty wheelchairs. We're just thinking, what foreign planet were we just dropped on? Because I did, I knew nothing about any of this. And it was an all Black holiness church. So if you've ever been, if you know what a holiness church is, the men sit on one side, the women on the other. The women wear dresses, no makeup, no jewelry. It's very strict. It's just, very fundamental, I guess you would say. Anyway, it was a big theater. This church was in a big theater. Our friend sits us in the front row. So she and Mike and I are the three white faces in an all Black church. Just crazy. Well, actually, Mike's on one side, I'm on the other, because men and women are separated. Well, the pastor gives his very fiery message. I'm pretty sure she had told him that these two kids need to be saved. But it worked. I mean, my hand went up, Mike's hand went up. We didn't know each other, that we were both responding to this, but we both went up front. We gave our hearts to the Lord and really never looked back from that point. But we were still in New York, still pursuing fame and fortune. I wanted to win a Tony. He was conducting on Broadway and Radio City Music Hall, still doing our thing. A year after that, we had Francesca. And a year after that, we started getting this feeling. We didn't fully understand the Holy Spirit yet, but we both were sensing, I think the Lord is asking us to lay this life down. And we started to sense very clearly that he was asking us to walk away. He said, that is not the life that I have for you. Which, if you pursue anything for years, you don't just suddenly walk away. My husband has a doctorate in music. You don't leave that, just typically. But God is kind of like Abraham. God says, leave everything, your family, your home, your land, go to a land that I'll show you. But I'm not going to tell you, you need to obey. And Abraham didn't. Of course, we know it changed the world, but we're not like Abraham. But it just reminded me, it was that same kind of thing. We didn't know what we were doing. We're both from New Jersey, but we moved back to New Jersey, started a home business. I started homeschooling 1985. She was born in 85. This is a couple of years later. I think it was legal, except that you had to keep your kids inside so the truant officer wouldn't knock on your door.
I remember those days.
Yeah. But it was the 80s, before it was cool. Now it's the cool, which I'm so happy because it's wonderful. And our daughter homeschools for 7. So just so y'all know, passing it down, which I'm thrilled. But we eventually moved down to Florida, where we raised her. And I was on the worship team at church trying to do those things, but we fully walked away from all of that. Which makes no crazy sense, but we did it.
That was significant. And how did you come to homeschool? How did you decide to homeschool? In 1985, there wasn't a lot around, or 86,
There wasn't, but when we moved to Florida, we realized where we were in Florida, the schools were pretty terrible at that time. They may be better today, but we both thought, we can't put her in school. She won't do well. And I don't know where we heard about it. Somebody must have told us. And we thought, well, that's a good idea. We're kind of that way. We always will. If it sounds like a good idea, we'll just go for it. And typically it works out. I mean, there's some other things that I could mention, but it doesn't pertain to this. But it made total sense to both of us. So we started, and she was doing well. She was thriving. She ended up graduating a year early, which I'm sure many of the families do. And it really, I think it made a huge difference for her life today.
Yeah. I think one of the questions that a lot of parents would have is, you have obviously you're extremely talented yourself, and you have an extremely talented daughter. And so, how did you navigate that with her? And she's walking with the Lord. She
Mhm.
has 7 children. How many boys and girls? You have to tell us.
5 boys, 2 girls. So
5
let me
boys.
tell you, Easter was busy. And the oldest is 14, but the 3 in the middle who are 9, 9, 7, and 5. Well, I
You
raised
know,
so boys are kind of a foreign species,
they are.
but they're fun. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah. I have 8, and I have
Oh,
6 boys and 2 girls.
wow. So
Yeah, I do know when I say that, yes. But so how did you raise her to be godly in what is often an ungodly world?
Well, I
And how
think,
did oh, can I
yeah,
just add one
yeah, yeah.
piece? And how did you identify her talents, or what did you do to help her be who she was created to be? Can you, because I know parents, they look at their kids, they think they might have a talent. How do you get from thinking they might have a talent through that process?
Really, the only thing is to pray. We, as parents, we have to dig deep with the Lord, find out, okay, God, you gave me this child. What are they on this planet to do? Because
Yeah.
every single one of them are created for a reason. They're here to change the world. So I just, not being raised that way, I thought, okay, I have to do things a little bit differently. And we dug in. We knew pretty early on she would do something in the arts. We could tell that's where her bent was. I thought it was ballet. She danced for a number of years and loved it and was very good at it. But she had some issues with her back and she couldn't continue. But then the music thing started bubbling up, and we both were thinking, okay, there's something here. And you do your best to make opportunities happen for your kids as best you can.
Mhm.
And whatever something came up that we thought this might be beneficial, we would expose her to it or take her to it or whatever. And as that talent started to grow, the Lord started showing me things. And I thought, okay, this seems kind of out in the universe somewhere. It just seems too big. But he would show it to me and I would keep it to myself, pray about it. And when I see what God has done with her, where he's taken her, it's far beyond what I ever really could have imagined. But the
Wow.
best thing about it is she has maintained her relationship with the Lord. Her heart is to worship, to see her homeschooling her kids and instilling the same thing in them. It's really wonderful to see this go down the generations, to go, okay, we're setting a new standard, because I didn't grow up that way. And I thought that's going to end with me. We're going to start a whole new thing with our family, and to see
Right.
her continuing it is very encouraging.
Right. Well, and you will be doing a workshop at the convention that's called Growing Great Kids,
Yeah.
Cultivating God's Purpose in Your Child's Life. And I just want to encourage everyone to come. If you want to know more of the nuts and bolts of what Kate and her husband Mike have done with Francesca Battistelli to make her the amazing woman that she is, be sure to mark that in your program that you want on the schedule to come. Yes, Hope. Yes, thank you, Richard. Wow, great testimony. It is.
Yeah.
It's so encouraging to hear testimonies like this. And as parents, we do worry about our kids, and um, and to see someone who has raised a daughter who's walking with the Lord, and they've homeschooled, uh, so much encouragement and hope there. And so this is a reason to come to convention, everyone. It's another why. And remember, every family bring a family and you'll save. The other thing that we have been asked here at HEAV for years and years, what do I do when I'm finished homeschooling? Or I'm almost finished homeschooling and I'm freaking out because I have no idea
Yeah.
what I'm going to do. For me, I've been with HEAV since 1989. So I already had my trajectory in the organization, but a lot of parents, they've just invested their lives. So what you'll be doing several workshops on, I'm looking for the title, some of the titles. Uh,
The one I think you're talking about is the after party of the empty nest.
yes, 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 because mom is not your only name.
Amen.
And also, you'll be talking about bridging the gap between generations.
Yeah.
And can you just share a few things that you'll be talking about, and why people should come and understand this better about the plans that God has for them?
Oh, for sure. The one you were talking about, the empty nest, women get to that point. That was me. We were so focused with her because it got busy with the whole Nashville thing and, record deals and all that. I couldn't think about when she was gone. I never planned for it. That was my mistake. I never thought there's going to be something after this. It was just in my brain. It was, this is what I do. But then she was gone and I thought, there's no noise. This house is quiet. There's an empty place at the table. What do I do now? And that's what so many women get to that point.
Yes.
And they don't tell you how lonely it is. They don't really tell you how difficult it is at first. And there is grief. There is mourning. This has been your identity for 20, 30 years. And now that's gone. I mean, you're still always a mom, but that's not what people identify you as. So it's you get there, but it's, again, prayer, asking the Lord, okay, God, what am I on this planet for? Just like my kids, because God has more for you. There's a second act. And I like to tell women, the second act is the best part of the play, right? Everything gets wrapped up. So I want to encourage anybody who's listening, specifically who's facing this, the end of this, next September, August, they're gone. You can get through it. You will. But now's the time. Start thinking now. Okay, Lord, start praying. What is that thing? It might be that thing that you've known since high school you're supposed to do. You're going to pick that up. You may go back to school. There's a million things that you may want to do. And for some of you, I had no clue. So for me, it was prayer and just trying to figure out. It took a couple of years. But what I did was I started volunteering because that got me out of myself. I wasn't poor, pitiful me all day. I went to a single mom's ministry. We were able to really help these moms. I started making good friends. I started mentoring. There's a mom younger than you that you can start helping. Take her out to lunch, whatever. If your kids are gone, well, that mom with kids in 10th grade or in 8th grade, whatever, you can begin to work with them and really help them. So that was how I got out of it. I started a little food blog because I love to cook. My daughter loves to cook. I thought I've got to have a place for her to see all my recipes, and started writing about the Lord. And I know that was God's sneaky way to get me to write. Because never in my wildest dreams did I think I'm going to write a book. It just never occurred to me. So we'll be talking a lot about the empty nest in that one class that I'm going to be doing. But then I'm also going to talk about mentoring, because especially for those of us that are older, I see that the whole Titus 2 woman scripture pretty much ignored in the church.
Yes.
We're not doing what he didn't suggest we do it. It was a command. He said, older women teach the younger.
Yes.
And I think for my generation, either we feel we're out of touch, we're not cool, we don't know how to do all that social media. How can we help them? But it's so much more than that. They are clamoring for us. I talk to younger women all the time and they say, well, I asked 3 women, they all said no. And I'm thinking, they said no. This is such an opportunity to pour into the next generation. So I really encourage. And for the younger ones, a lot of them are clamoring, but there are a lot of them that think we don't need them. They don't know anything. They can't help us. But I think that's the minority. And there's some of us that are thinking, well, I figured it out myself. They'll figure it out, which is just not what Paul encourages us to do. So I want to talk a lot about that. And it's so beneficial and so life-giving to mentor a younger woman. And we can be mentored too. I don't think you ever get too old to mentor, but they need us and they are reaching out, especially the single gals. I work with a lot of young women in their 30s, 40s who are wanting to be married, wanting this, wanting that. And how do they navigate that? Because that may not be God's path for them.
Right.
He may have something totally outside that, but to be open, just to be able to pray for them, pour into their lives, it's such a blessing.
Yeah. And can you speak to moms? I know myself, I always feel inadequate.
We
It's
all
my,
do.
well, yes, at least most of us do, I think. But so many times moms feel inadequate, and I can speak for myself, and I can feel like, oh, I messed up. If I could go back, I would do things differently. And, I wasn't a perfect parent. And so who am I to even think that I could mentor someone? And I've resolved that, but can you share your thoughts on that with the moms who are feeling that way, that with how they move ahead?
Well, I think we all felt that way at some point, that we messed up, we did this, but that doesn't mean God can't use you. That's actually a great thing you can share with other moms, maybe how you did mess up, what you would have done differently to help them not mess up. You know what I mean? That's one of the good things of mentoring, because you can say, okay, I get where you're coming from. Stop before it's too late, get on this path with that child. We do all take that on. I'm not worth it. I'm not good enough. I messed up too much. All those things that are just lies. They're lies of the enemy, because the enemy, he doesn't want us fulfilling what God has called us to do.
Right.
He will do everything he can to push us away from God's call on our lives and to make us feel like we can't do it. But we can't do it alone.
Right.
One thing I say in the God Bear is the impossible is God's comfort zone. I can't do the impossible, but God can. So whatever crazy thing he asks you to do, for me, writing, podcasting, all this coming and speaking at HEAV, it's like, how on earth? I don't know how any of that happens. But whatever it is God's calling you to, if it feels impossible, if God calls you to it, he will equip you to do it.
Yes.
He has to. He has to give us the tools and the people and the help around us to accomplish whatever it is he's calling us to do. So I just encourage anyone who's feeling that way, who's feeling like, oh, I messed up too much. Okay, maybe you did.
Yeah.
Move forward. There's still, God still, he hasn't said, oh, well, you messed up too much, I'm checking you off the list. Never, never. We all have a second chance. I had a second chance at 29 to be able to give my heart to him and follow him. He could have just said, with what you've done in your life, no way. But he didn't. And it's the same if you get to that end of homeschooling and you feel like you've messed it up.
Right. And you get a lot of, when you mess up, often when we fail is when we learn the most.
Absolutely.
And so we have a lot of wisdom. What you were saying earlier, there's a lot of wisdom there that we can share of what we did, what we saw that we did wrong, but what we learned from that and how we've walked that out with our kids and our families. Yeah.
Failure's a great teacher. Even with our kids, it's especially when they go off on their own. It's like, oh man, they're doing that wrong, but they'll figure it out. We figured it out.
Right. And hopefully we'll, when we finish homeschooling, the thing we have left with our children is obviously what we've poured into them, but also relationship.
Yes.
And, as all my children are grown, my oldest is 43 and my youngest is 28. And the relationships that we have are so important. Yeah. And Kate has a lot to share about, bringing up your children, helping them to be all that they can be, and then being able to walk with those around you to encourage them. So I'm so looking forward to meeting you in person at the convention. And thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is wonderful. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. And if you haven't registered, go do it now. Registration closes, the pre-registration closes on May 20th. And now you can register at the door. The prices go up. So if you want to save the most by May 20th is the early registration deadline. And also if you share your code that you'll get when you register with other families, you'll save $5 and they'll save $5. We'll just keep sending that $5 to you every time somebody registers. So you could come for free if you want to. So I think that's all we have tonight. Again, I thank our sponsors. We could not do this convention without sponsors, and we couldn't do this convention without you. This year, we're expecting at least 12,000 or more people over the 3 days of convention. We have graduation, which is full. We have 214 graduates this year, some amazing displays and speakers, and lots of new things this year. So come on. And Kate, we look forward to seeing you in just a few short weeks.
Amen. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.